What's up, y'all? Thanks for stopping by the Surge T channel. I am Surge T, and tonight I'll be doing my video on AEW Dynamite, and this is the 2-year anniversary of Dynamite after marking its debut back in 2019, and we get an 8-man tag team match to start things off. It's the Super Elite versus Christian Cage, Jurassic Express, and Bryan Danielson. And we see a 4-way BTE trigger on Jungle Boy and the Super Elite win this match. This is a regular run-of-the-mill multi-man tag team match. Great seeing all these guys in there, all great talents, but you know, are they gonna get past this and stop with the whole going against each other? You know what I mean? I like to see Jungle Boy and Adam Cole continue one on one, have some some banger matches between those two. You know, what's up with with I call it the Young Bucks? Are they seriously? Do they seriously want to get their tag team titles back, or do they want to keep continuing to be like like court jesters with the Elite and prancing around like a bunch of idiots? How about you get serious and focus on the tag team titles, get them back. You know. Now, John Moxley, he wants his belt back, and he's no stranger to ladder matches. We know that from his time in WWE. Now, CM Punk does talk a lot, doesn't he? I mean, always having in-ring segments. And yeah, you're glad to be back, and you ask if we are sick of this yet. Then I'm like, well, we will be if you keep doing this. And he did a thing again where he jumps to the crowd, and the guy looked like he was struggling to hold him up, or he didn't want to do it, but he was smiling because he just wanted to, because he was probably happy that CM Punk decided to jump in my section. And he's talking about you want to keep the love fest going. I'm like going, some of us are getting tired of it. I like CM Punk, but it's like, you know, and all he's doing is talking. He says pretty much just the same thing in the ring. Like, okay, we got it. He talked about moving on from the what do you call it, from Team Taz, and having some serious matches and fighting, but then start doing it. Now, you see Arn in a segment. He's vignette burning up a suit. I guess it's Cody's suit, and he's tired of Hollywood Cody Rhodes, and is burning all of the excess that Cody has, and he has thrown them away, says Arn. He's thrown them away. Arn and the rest of Nightmare Family and stuff like that for Hollywood. He's hosting that one show, big. What's it called? What's it called? The Big Show. I think that I forget what it's called. And then his reality show with his wife. It's time to get down to business. That's what Arn's saying. Arn's old school. He knew his dad. He knew Dustin before Cody even became a wrestler. So he knows how the old school ways are, and how they didn't care about Hollywood. They didn't care about none of that stuff. They got it done in the ring. Their business was inside the ring. Now Bobby Fish, he looks to make Sammy Guevara the shortest reigning TNT champion in AEW history. It was great to see him. But thanks for coming, Bobby Fish, because he gets the GTH and he's pinned by the Spanish God, and Sammy Guevara retains his TNT title. And then we see America's Top Team come out, and Paige Van Zandt, that's her name. This girl is annoying as fuck. She goes out there, and it's almost like she acts the way she does, with the hand gestures and come on and all this stuff, and she's doing it because she has the boys around her. It's not because she's tough. I mean, yes, she's tough for coming from where she comes from, but it's annoying how she does it. Even those other girls, they weren't there in this segment, but they're like, it's just like, who are you? You want to act all bravado and all that stuff, and it's like you haven't done anything in AEW or anything yet. The other ones that he has surrounding Dan Lambert, yeah, but They then attack Sammy, and then Fuego helps or tries, and Jericho's theme hits, and he takes it to the team. And then, but he and Hager, of course, and then there's a proposed six-man tag team match on Rampage, Inner Circle versus the Men of the Year, and Junior Dos Santos. So, I think what are they gonna do? They're going to set it up to where it's going to be Junior Dos Santos and Jack Hager down the road, which I wouldn't mind seeing. Get two MMA fighters, two guys that are probably going to have an MMA style fight. But then again, Junior Dos Santos was training to be a wrestler. He was in WWE for a split second. He was training with Rey Mysterio, I believe. But let's see what happens with that. Now there's an announcement by Tony Khan, but as Jericho says, Schiavone, Tony Schiavone says it in the ring for us, and it is a form of a new championship. It's a new championship for the new station TBS. They call it the TBS Championship, and and then Dynamite. That's because Dynamite's going to be moving there, January 5th to be exact. And like I said, the women's division get a new title. It's the TBS Championship, and I'm like, why is it called that? It's like, hope Dynamite maintains their contract with TBS. If they get a contract with Sci-Fi, they're gonna call the title Sci-Fi. If they get a thing with the Home Shopping Network, they're gonna call it the Home Shopping Network Championship. It's like, it's really ridiculous. I get they're doing it because they want to show their gratitude to the Chase Station. Hey, let's make a championship, but that is so silly. TNT, yeah, it has a ring to it. TNT. That's like an explosive. That's like a dynamite. Kind of goes hand in hand with dynamite, right? TNT. You can kind of put that together. But TBS, like I said, what's next? CBS Championship. You have a deal with them. I mean, every time they have a channel, like name it something else. You know, they're gonna have a tournament for it. And then you had just some women talking about what they're going to do, and Jade Cargill is like, I'm going to change it to that bitch station. I'm like, okay, we got it. You're a bitch. We got it. You're that bitch. We got it. It's like stupid. Now, Darby, he talks of his uncle passing when he was 5. We already heard that story, and he said he faced death on that day. That his face paint represents half of him being dead, and his tattoos represent the one thing that he has that says that saying that he has on the tattoo it says this pretty much is connected to that. And then he says that Darby Allin says that MGF has never faced anyone like him before. And yeah, then Darby will go one with Nick Camarado of the Factory, and Darby connects with a coffin drop on Camarado's back. Who did he do that to before? I think he did that to Daniel Garcia, if I'm not mistaken. But and then he gets the pin in the win, and then QT delivers a diamond cutter, turns around thinking that he accomplished something, but Sting bounces back up and delivers a Scorpion Death Drop and lays out QT. Some people will go, well, he didn't sell it. Well, that's the one time where you don't sell it because QT Marshall's weak. That's pretty much what they're saying. That whatever you want to deliver, it doesn't has no effect. So I like when he did it. I like how Sting bounces up. He's not like some of these guys who don't sell during a match. Okay, this is like something I mean, and Sting still has a lot of energy. Still has a lot of strength. So it's not like he's gonna get knocked out. If it was during a match and he was weathered, what do we call that, where he was weakened and all that, then yeah, maybe. But I like that. It was funny. So let's go. Now backstage, we see the newly reunited, maybe, but for the meantime they are Dark Order, and then Uno is like, maybe individually we should vote, so we can see how each of you feel, whatever, and then Alex Reynolds is like, no, we should vote as a family. They start getting into it. They start saying that I think it's 5. He has his mask off. He said, "Hey, you should keep your mask on," And then he said, "Oh, because every time you take it off, you look like Silver." And then someone said, "No, you look like Grayson." Grayson's like, yeah, you don't look anything like me." And then the voice of reason, Anna Jay, says, "You guys, are we on the same page or what?" Like, all right. And it's good to see him back because there's no real thing, man. There's no real gain from that. If you think about that, these guys are like a very, very reliable part of AEW, They're great together. They're funny. They also can wrestle their asses off in the ring. They're a great unit. Keep them together. Don't do what other, especially WWE does, where every time they feel like it, they're gonna have a team together, then they're gonna break them up. That's not gonna work. Dante Martin is interviewed by Tony Schiavone. That's the thing that I noticed. Tony Schiavone does a lot of interviews and does a lot of sock segments, and sometimes it wears thin. But Dante Martin talks about he'll fight anybody in the locker room, and I'm like, be careful what you wish for. And as be careful what you wish for, there, Dante, and then the lights go out, and then the spotlight hits the ring, and after delivering the Black Mist, Malachi Blacks hits the spinning back kick and KOs Martin. The lights go out, the lights go back on, and Dante's nowhere to be seen yet, but he's at ringside. I mean, down there on his back or on his front or wherever, he's out. But I didn't see him at first. And then all Malachi Black says is that the House of Black accepts. So we'll be seeing that match, and it should be a very, very athletic match, a very high pace, fast pace match. Dante Martin better bring his A game, because one spin of that, you've already seen right there. Taking one of those kicks, that's it. You're done. You're out. Now, obsolete Ricky Starks is in the ring, and why do they acknowledge a make-believe belt? Commentators say the FTW champion, or the ring announcer, Justin Dumbass Roberts, says that. Roberts? Yeah, Justin Roberts. And, you know what I mean? He announced that, but then a legit one like the Impact Championship, when Christian Cage had it in their match, didn't say nothing. Didn't say he was the Impact Championship. They have a partnership with Impact. Are they trying to do WWE and not acknowledge that belt? You know, you guys have a partnership with Impact. I think Impact would like for their belt to be announced on thing. I don't know. Maybe they have a agreement. Don't mention our belts. I don't know. And then we see Brian Cage come out, and the Team Taz goofs save Ricky's ass as he's looking to, take him out. That's getting thin. I like Brian Cage, and he needs to go back to being the ass kicker, solo, going after other people, laying people out, stuff like that. Go after damn. It would have been great to see him versus Miro for the TNT title. Two big dudes, two big, bruisers like that. Now, like I said earlier, we hear from Thunder Rosa, Sky Blue, Ruby Soho, and Jade Cargill in regards to the new TBS title that was announced and unveiled earlier. And all women are already laying claim to it. Then, like I said before, Jade Cargill, she's going to win the tournament and rename that belt that bitch show. Okay, we got it. Like I said earlier, we got it. You're a bitch. We got it. You're that bitch. Really? Now, Hikaru Shida, one of my favorites, she's looking for her 50th win. But she must get it at the expense of Serena Deeb, whose Woman of 1,000 Holes moniker was given to her by the Man of 1,000 Holes, the legendary Dean Malenko. So she just didn't one day go, I like that moniker, I'm gonna have it. She got it passed on to her, so that's cool. And she was the 41st woman to hold the NWA Women's World Title. And we know that Shida is the longest reigning champion over all the champions in AEW history. And then we see a Serenity Lock is locked in, and Serena Deeb wins this match as Hikaru Shida taps. And, well, it doesn't look like she's going to get that title. I mean, get the title, but get that nice little, what do you call that, little plaque that they had set up for her, and getting her 50th win. And then we see Serena Deeb use that very award and clock Shida, seemingly becoming a heel. Now, I'm glad they did this because it looked too obvious. It's one of those things where it's like they shouldn't have said nothing. Have her come out, win the match, and then somebody on like just Justin Roberts will go, and for your information, that was Shida's 50th win, and then they bring out the plaque, and then they bring out a little bit of celebration, pop some confetti and stuff like that. They put it out there already. I'm just like going, if she wins, it's non-climactic. Yeah, Jungle Boy did that some time ago. 50th thing, his plaque was out there. But you know, it's going to be a great accomplishment when she gets it. But I'm thinking that she's gonna. I was thinking at first that it was going to happen where she was going to keep losing and losing and losing, and then she's going to get frustrated. She's going to become a heel, and then you know what I mean. And then she was going to just be on a warpath and for that 50th win. But looks like there's going to be a little bit of a rivalry now between her, a feud between Sheeta and Thing and Serena Deeb, and I'm glad to see that because they're two. I think they'll match up pretty good. This was a good match. I liked it, you know. But you know, but anyway, let's move on. Darby, he's backstage, and then he gets attacked by Sean Spears. You see him even with the hood on, and then we see the other guys. You know, Wardlow was under there. I think probably one of FTR was there, and then we saw Matthew Jacob Friedman come out, MJF, and the Pinnacle. They attacked him, and then they just drive off in that limo. So that's definitely a setup. Now I'm looking forward to that match, Darby and MJF. You know, just two guys that I like and two guys that do well in the ring, and they really do have great characters, and I think that they're going to mesh really well. So we'll see when that happens. Now, here's some announcements for Rampage. We see CM Punk is going to take on Daniel Garcia, and then Jade Cargill versus Sky Blue. Kind of like I don't know if that's going to be a tournament match or it's just a preview of the two women that want to be in that tournament. They didn't mention anything about the participants, so it's going to probably start next week. Now, Starks versus Cage for the FTW Championship. It should be the WGAF, Who Gives a Fuck Championship. And then Lucha Bros defend their tag titles against the worst rappers that can ever be, the Acclaimed. And like I said, it's going to be on Rampage this Friday. Now, Leo Rush has some advice for Dante Martin for his match against Malachi Black. He says he can give him some guidance, among other things. You know, it's almost like he's he going to be like a manager more than a wrestler? Because he's giving, you know, he's a LB Leo Rush LBI, you know, what's that, LBO, you know, because he's business. He has his own business. He's successful. He can guide people, you know. And didn't we see that with Smart Mark, right? You give the backing to the right person, and I mean to Jade Cargill. He finally did, you know, get hired by Jade, so he's guiding her career. But now let's go to the main event. Casino ladder match. Orange Cassidy and Pac start the match. And then Andrade's next and joins the fray. Matt Hardy makes his way to the ring and immediately targets the orange one. Lance Archer joins in and brings destruction to those already in the ring. And the wild thing, Jon Moxley goes for Lance Archer, and the rivalry is far from over as they end up taking it to the crowd. And then the Joker is up next, and it's Adam Hangman Page, or Hangman Adam Page. And then we see a Deadeye from Adam Page to Pac through the table. That was a sick shot. I mean, sick spot from the top of the ladder. What's that? Through the table, yeah, through the table from the top of the ladder. And man, that could have been disastrous. But Matt drops a leg and puts Orange Cassidy through a table. A lot of table spots. And then Page connects with a buckshot lariat on Archer. Like, holy shit, that was intense and brutal. And then Hangman Page knocks Mox off the ladder. Or actually, he was knocking on him until Mox just fell off the ladder. And then he brings down the casino ladder match Chip. What's that? And he ends up winning the whole thing, and he is the next contender for the world title. A lot of people are putting up their, I see thumbnails on YouTube, and people putting up their predictions that he's going to be the next world champion. Might be. I think he deserves it. He was in the first match with Jericho, if I'm not mistaken, for the new, to crown the very first champion. So let's see what happens as that comes on. You know, that comes to, you know, whenever that's going to happen. Could be in November for Full Gear. And they got a lot of things that are really, really setting up now that they can conclude it at Full Gear. I mean, I wonder if they're going to do that with the tournament. Like the finals will be at Full Gear for the TBS, women's TBS title. It's a great thing that they have another women's title. That's good. That's very good because what's going to happen is that, you know, we're not going to have to deal with, Everybody going after what do you call it? After what's her name? Britt Baker. You know, Britt Baker. She said that where was that at? Because I had it in my notes. Like I said, I'll say it time and again. I read notes. Oh, well, she pretty much said that now that they have a title, he says you bitches can go focus on that and stop coming after me. So yeah, that's good. WWE should do that. Yeah, they got two women's titles, but they're both world titles. You know, I've always said, especially now, that yeah, I'm gonna talk about WWE. AEW fans, whoever watches this doesn't like it, or someone stumbles upon this video, I don't give a fuck. You notice I'm doing an AEW video, right? And I got Roman Reigns shirt on. Why? As I'm a fan of both. And you know, and yeah, there's like Charlotte's on SmackDown with the Raw Women's title, and then Becky's on Raw with the SmackDown Women's title. I'm thinking they should either put that together and make it an undisputed title, unified title, and then they go from brand to brand. I've always said that the SmackDown Women's Championship should be a mid card title, and then you have two titles, separate titles that have different meanings, not a world title. You know what I mean? But anyway, this is AEW. I know. I got it. I got it. I got it. But that's my video. So for those of you who stop by and checked it out, I appreciate it. And in closing, as always, take care.